Hello and welcome to the 2006 Field Archery World Championships from Gothenburg. This year we have 230 archers competing from 29 countries. The last time the Field Archery Championship was held in Sweden was back in 1976, when just 91 archers competed. Gothenburg was founded in 1621 by Swedish King Gustavus Adolphus II, and today has a population of just under the 500,000 mark. Interesting to note that 50% of Scandinavia's industrial capacity lies within a 300-kilometre radius of Gothenburg. And it is also home of the largest port in the Nordic region. So we're here in the home of the Gothenburg Castle, one of the venues for this event. The Gothenburg Castle was built at the end of the 18th century and was the summer residence for the wealthy merchant John Hall.
The archery you see in the World Cup is all on a flat ground, shooting on a given distance, and all the shots are the same, basically. In field archery it's more like a golf course really. You're following a course, a marked course, you come to a post with a number, and you have then a shooting peg, and sometimes it's unmarked, sometimes it's marked. You either have to guess the distance or the distance given on the post. Sometimes it's very difficult, because you also have the elevation. It's up and down, and sometimes it's a side hill, and you never know which target to meet. Sometimes you simply have to guess, sometimes you can use your equipment trying to measure, but there's always an uncertainty in it, and this makes you a bit nervous. For some it's the only chance they have, for the bare bow archers for instance, and the compounds have their championships also on target, but as I said, the bare bow is the only chance they have to become a world champion.
Okay, so the target we've seen for the World Cup had 5 colors and 10 zones, and the one we see here has only 2 colors, yellow and black, and has 5 zones, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that makes a difference in the score, so most of the time you see half of the score you would expect in target archery. So the top score is 5 instead of 10. The recurve bow is the bow which we saw most at the World Cup this year. If we take off the sight and the stabilizer, you end up with a bare bow, and that's where it's coming from. So without any sight and without any stabilization.
So we kick off our coverage of this event with the team women's semi-final, and it's France versus Germany. And it's Christine Gauthier shooting bare bow for France. Françoise Vollet shooting compound. And Sophie Daudemont shooting recurve. And at the end of their first 3 arrows, France finish with 10 points. Now it's the turn of Germany, and it's Monika Jenkes with bare bow. Manuela Kaltenmark shooting recurve. And Silke Hutteka shooting compound. And at the end of their first 3 arrows, they have 13. So France begin with 10, Germany 13. So first arrow of the second round, Christine again. You'll notice a difference in the distances between the bare bow archers and the compound and recurve archers. And you begin to appreciate the difficulty that these archers have shooting under these conditions. And after their second volley of 3 arrows, it's 23 points for France. Germany immediately coming back strong. Silke shooting last arrow, and she hits a 5. So that means that the German team have 25 points to France's 23. Christine lining up at the 35-meter marker. She has a very particular stance. As you can see, a curvature of her back. And she shoots a 1, and that's just at the left-hand side of the picture. You can just see it at the left-hand side there. Françoise coming back with a 5. Sophie adjusting the sight on her recurve bow, something the bare bow archers don't have the pleasure of. And that's not too good for France. That's 11 points. Monika comes flying back with a 5. Fantastic performance from Monika throughout this tournament. That's a 4 for Manuela. And Silke finishes it off with an X. Final arrow. What can the French pull out? And that's a fantastic shot from Christine Gauthier. Sophie steps up, shoots an X, and that's the third arrow from the French. We had to move our cameraman, so apologies. We missed the arrow from Françoise, but it was 3 X's for the French team. And that's not the best arrow that Monica has shot all day. I'm sure she'll agree with me. That's a 4 from Manuela. So it's all up to Silke with the last arrow of the match. And that's it. The Germans take the match. 50 points to 49. Just 1 point in it at the end of the match. France, who came first in the 2004 event, actually beat Germany in the final, 51-48. So something of a turnaround there. So Germany went to meet Sweden in the final and lost 56-50. Now it's the turn of the men, and it's the men's team final with Italy facing the United States. Italy came fourth in 2004 when Michel and Antonio shot with Mario Orlandi. So first arrow of the first target in the final, and it's Giuseppe Samandi shooting barebow, Antonio Pompeo shooting compound, and Miche Frangilli shooting recurve. And at the end of the first arrow, it's 13 points from a possible 15. Dave Cousins kicking off for the United States with his first arrow, and that's an X. Vic Wunderle shooting recurve, another X. Anyone would think it was an exhibition. And finally, shooting barebow, Mark Applegate, another X. So 15 from 15 for the United States at the end of the first arrow. 2 points in it. Giuseppe lining up for the barebow. That's a 4. Excellent stuff from Antonio. That's an X. Again from Mickey. Great stuff from the Italians, but they have dropped a point and the Americans will capitalize on that. There's no doubt about it. Dave looking incredibly confident. That's a 5. Another 5. Mark again with the barebow. 5 again. 15 from 15. Scores standing at 30 for the United States, 27 for the Italians. The Italians really need to get it together. Very windy conditions, extremely difficult for a barebow archer, or any archer in fact, and that's another 4. That's an X for Antonio. Michele making the final adjustments to the sight on his recurve bow. Lines up. Very particular way of lining up, as you can see. Terrific guy, very friendly. Loves the sport. And that's a 4 for Michele Frangilli. The Americans will be more than happy with that, as they've shot nothing but 5s for the moment. You see how close the American team stand together during all the shooting. Excellent stuff from Dave. It's a 5. That's a 4 from Vic. And an X from the barebow. Who would have thought it? Excellent stuff. So the scores standing at 44 for the United States and 40 for the Italians. And look who knows it. Not a happy man. So last arrow, last target. Excellent shot there from Giuseppe. Antonio steps up. That's a 5. And that's a 4 from Michele. So I think that the Americans have it. That's a 5 for Dave Cousins. Vic and Mark left to shoot. 4 for Vic. What will the last arrow bring for Mark Applegate? That's a 3, but it doesn't matter because the final score sees the Americans with a 3-point lead. United States 56 points, Italy 53. Really not a lot between the two teams. Italy dropped vital points in the first arrow, and the Americans never let them get away with it. Excellent stuff. So now it's time for the individual events, and we make our way across town to Gothenburg's Botanical Gardens. Founded in 1842 by Captain Henrik von Norman, the Palm House was erected in 1876 and is a replica of London's Crystal Palace. The park also houses numerous permanent and temporary works of art. So, recurve men's gold final. This, as I say, is an individual event. Michele shooting first, followed by Sebastian Rohrberg from Germany. Sebastian, part of the German team that were eliminated in the semi-finals by the Italian team. Sebastian lining up second arrow. That's the second arrow for Sebastian, and you look at the grouping there. It's another X. Third X. 3 X's from the first 3 arrows for Sebastian. Michele following on points, X55, so 15-15 at the end of the first target. And yes, you do need your binoculars. If you're coming to a field archery event, do bring those binoculars because those targets are sometimes up to 80 meters away. Oh, first arrow for Michele there, and that's an X. Sebastian follows up with a 5. Really nothing to choose between these two guys. X again from Michele. And look at the grouping of Sebastian's arrows there. 2 5s. It's almost as if he's using his first arrow as a target. Another X there from Michele. That's 3 X's for Michele at the end of his second target. And that's a 4 for Sebastian. Really caught out by the wind there. It is quite gusty. Now this is our most interesting target. We're shooting from the second floor of a house, one of the houses inside this botanical park, shooting downwards. Maybe we'll get a better shot of it later. Michele's shooting first, and he pulls out a 5. Sebastian deciding to shoot higher, shoots an X. You really see the angle that these guys are working at. Something that we don't see in target archery is, of course, elevation, because the target is at the same level as the archer. It's extremely difficult, but these guys seem to be putting on a fantastic display of the sport. Sebastian 5-5X, last arrow for Michele. And that's a 5. So, at the end of the third target, Michele on 45. Sebastian on 44, just 1 point in it. There's the wonderful Palm House. I can assure you we're not in Crystal Palace. There is in front of us the second stand for the barebow archers, so you can see the difference between in terms of distance. Another 5 there from Michele. Last target in this gold men's final. 5 again from Sebastian. Can Michele hold his cool? That's a 4. And he's not happy with that. But Sebastian follows him, and given how close these two archers are, one would suggest that maybe the wind has picked up a little bit and caught the two of them out. Let's see what Sebastian's last arrow produces. It's another 4. So, that's the end of the final. And the world champion, gold medalist, is Michele Franghini from Italy. 58-57. There's really nothing in it. Fantastic final. A fantastic medalist. Great sportsman.
No, with the field, every time, every target is different. My team for me all days, and I'm happy that support and nice place, and nice results for me. The third time that I win a world field championship, and I'm happy for the day. But in the individual, the stress is only on you. In the team is divided in three persons.
So, change of sex and change of discipline for the compound women's gold final between Gladys Wilhelms from Belgium and Silke Hurtecker from Germany. And it's Silke pulling first. Silke, of course, beat USA's Jana Davis in the semi-final, 55-53. Gladys running up, taking her time. Silke quite happy to go at her own speed. Doesn't seem to be bothering Gladys very much. Excellent posture. You can see a little bit of a shake in her hand there. Excellent camera work. Good grouping as well. 2 X's and a 5 from Silke. Last arrow from Gladys. Really see the detail of the compound bow in action there. Just pulling back, see the thumb moving down on the trigger and release. Great stuff. So it's even Stevens at the end of the first round. 15 plays 15 onto target 2 in this women's gold final in the compound discipline. Silke again, not hanging around, 5 points. Silke already lined up for a second arrow there. Gladys really, I think, waiting for the wind to drop a little bit. And the sun's come out. Well, it's 5s all round for the moment. Nothing to separate these two archers. Silke having shot 2 X's. Gladys with 2 5s there, just checking out. Excellent crowd here. Lots of supporters from Germany and the United States and Australia as well. And also a huge contingent from Chinese Taipei. And that's splendid stuff from Gladys, who waited for the right moment, realising she can't afford to drop any points. So another 15-15 round there with the second target. So it's 30 apiece. And we're on to target 3, shooting down from the house. I wonder whether they had to shoot their way in. 5 for both of them from the first 2 arrows. That looks very much like 2 lots of 4s there. We're closer inspection on that. So another 4 for Gladys. Yeah, she's not happy. The wind picking up a bit there. And that's not bad. That's a 5 for Silke. So at the end of the third target, it's 43 points Gladys, 44 Silke. And that 1 point drop there could be punishing. First arrow of the fourth target, completely different from the third. Elevation completely different, and our first 2 arrows are not that hot. 4 and 4. Another 4 there from Gladys. 4 from Silke. Really releasing the third, and that's a third, 4th arrow. So 12 points for Silke, and Gladys shoots a 5. So we have a tiebreak. It's 56-56. Well, this match was settled with a shootout, which Silke won by 1 point, 5 points to 4.
The wind was blowing so hard and I didn't know what to do, and well, we tied, so we both had the same ideas of putting our arrows in the middle. And after the shoot-off, I thought, well, this is the last chance you have. Either you just put it right in the middle or you just lose. So I got all my courage together and just did it. I brought a bow back home with me when I left America, and I started training in a little tiny club And when I met my boyfriend, he actually showed me how to do it. And since the year 2000, I have a trainer, and he's doing a great job, as you can see.
Yes, he most certainly is, and congratulations to Silke there. It's the time for the men again, and it's compound men gold with Dave Cousins from the United States and Morgan Lundin shooting in front of a home crowd. Morgan came third in 2004, beating Slovenia's Dejan Sitar in a shootout. Dave kicks off. Very, very close match promised here between these two superb athletes. Dave has been a pleasure to watch going around the two courses that the organisers laid out for us. Dave shooting his third arrow, not put off by the wailing of sirens, obviously. That's 15 points from Dave's first 3 arrows, and the same for Morgan. Morgan was obviously not happy to have lost to the American team in the team event, so he'll be fighting hard for Queen and Country as we set up for target 2 in this final round. And that has gone straight through the target. Don't worry, I assure you that it's gone in. It was a 5, and that's a 5 from Morgan as well. Second arrow for Dave, looks like it's gone in the same hole, and that's an X. Same again for Morgan. Very difficult to see which way this match is going to go. Very close though, very close indeed. X. Excellent stuff. 15-15. Dave shooting 3 X's in the second target to Morgan's 2. Back to the house. Target 3. Already 5 apiece. Morgan preparing for his second arrow. That's another 5. That's a 5 for Dave. His first arrow looks like an X rather than a 5. Same amount of points. And that's pretty close, but that is on the line. That's a 5 for Morgan. He's just checking it out himself. Probably skipped a beat. His heart skipped a beat there probably. It's even Stevens. 15 points again. 45, place 45 as we step up for the last and final target of this World Championship field event, which has been an absolute pleasure. Both archers shooting pretty much in exactly the same place on the target. Great seeing them arrive at the same time there. It's an X there from Morgan, but 5 from this extremely confident Dave. Oh, that's a 4! That's a 4. That could lose the match for David. I bet he's kicking himself. Yeah, that's it. It all came down to 1 point. Great stuff from Morgan, and commiserations there for Dave. Really fantastic performance from both athletes. And it's been a terrific weekend of archery, a terrific week of archery, because the elimination rounds for this event actually started on Monday and have culminated with today's final. So, and in such a fantastic setting as well.
Yeah, it's great. Fantastic organization, great shooting, great drama at the end of the finals. Fantastic.
So that brings us to the end of the 2006 Field Archery World Championships. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again in Shanghai. That's all for now. Bye-bye.